Wonderful. I think we're now there on Facebook Live as well, and the Facebook always takes a few minutes just for the message to get out there to people, so we'll give a few moments for everybody to arrive. And as you'll see, that the Facebook Live does stay on the Facebook page for a couple of days afterwards. No, it doesn't. It stays on the Facebook page and continues to circulate for a couple of days afterwards. People see the recording on there, and I pop these up on the live Facebook Live recordings up onto the YouTube channel as well. So we've been building a bit of an archive of the last year and a bit of drumming circles and now journeying circles. So they're all there to connect in with anytime that you're wanting to do some drumming. There's plenty of drumming circles to join in with on the YouTube channel. But in these opening minutes, apart from those who are already here on Zoom, and those few people who are just arriving on Facebook, it's usually just those people who find the recording afterwards who see these earlier messages, so particular hello to you. Still just getting set up a little bit in here, which is great while people just arrive. Just going to check that I've done the things right for the sound on Zoom. So I think I'm plumbed into the right microphone. Super. I'm getting a buzz in here, so let me find where that is. Super. Found it. People just arriving on the Zoom here. So this evening we have a journeying circle. We've been holding these twice a month for the last year and a bit, and it's worked out that the first one, the earlier one in the month, is a journeying circle where we connect in with the voice of the drum and journey on those inner worlds to connect in with whatever guidance or messages or healing that we're needing at a certain time. And the one towards the end of the month is our drumming circle, where we, with the drum, call out to the spirits of the season and just honour the season and the land as it turns and changes. I'm not sure if you can hear all of the bird song coming in through the window there. You know, as it all changes as the year goes on, and we get all of these signs of life and signs of the wheel turning. Ah, fantastic. I can now see the comments on there. Welcome those who are joining on the Facebook Live. Yeah, lovely to have you joining from Enville. Hi everyone. From San Francisco as well. Wonderful. Do let us know in the comments where you're joining in from. We're joining in on these remote circles here, but it's nice to get a sense of the kind of the physical circle and how far it spreads as well. And on Zoom we've got people joining in from London and others joining in from Cornwall. Really good to have you on here. I take it Cornwall's quite busy this week with lots of things happening, so lovely to have you joining. Others joining in from Suffolk, others from Lancashire, from Gisborough. Superb. Yeah, others joining in from Cornwall. Really good to have you all on here. From Derbyshire, Dundee in Scotland, Winchester. Once again, a nice wide circle. Joining in from Worcestershire, but bringing Lancashirean roots. Somebody there as well. Somebody else joining in from Scotland. Others from Shrewsbury. Fantastic. If you're joining on the Facebook Live as well, one of the things that can really help just reach a couple of people who may be looking for the live video but haven't spotted it yet, is if you click share. I think on the video it's in the bottom right hand corner of what you're watching, but as is the way with Facebook, it's not always easy for people to find things, and I do get a couple of messages from people who find it a day later or something like that, who didn't see that it was on or couldn't find it at the time. So if you're able to, click the share and pop it into whatever group you found out about the drumming circle for, whatever groups that you're in. It just does a little something to help people find it a little bit more easily. I have more people joining in with the live event who otherwise might not have spotted it. Alright, that's excellent. Superb. So welcome everybody. Everybody joined on Zoom there. Really good to see you all, and on Facebook Live. And we're going to begin as we do always, just taking a moment to really consciously focus and ground and center at the start. You know, as we come from whatever we're doing in the day, it's just to take a moment just to, step out of that realm into another, and into this space, into this circle that we have together. And I'm going to be, with this as well, lighting some smudge herbs. So if you have some at home that you're wanting to smudge with at the start here, do grab those now and have those ready, because you know we're still joining in, we're still doing a lot from home and running from one thing to another. And just to really take a moment before we start doing any drumming, before we do any opening up, before we doing any journeying into inner worlds, it's just for us to take a moment just to stop, center within ourselves, clear aside any of the stresses from the day that we don't need to be carrying, and be here completely present, particularly tonight on these evenings while we do the journey. Okay, and we will be doing a couple of rounds of drumming this evening as well, so those people who, as standard as usual, bring their drums along will be using the drums at the start and at the end as part of the opening and closing. But for the journeying, you won't need a drum. You can just sit or lay in whatever way is comfortable for you. But I'll talk you through that when we get close to it. And I think now, looking at the time and looking at, we've got kind of, I think, good groups on both spaces. Let's take a moment now. Let's do our grounding and centering and opening. So I invite everybody just to take a moment just to bring your attention to your breath. No need to do anything fancy with it, just notice that breath in and notice that breath out. And as you exhale, you kind of notice that you just settle into the seat that little bit more. And it's a good time to check that you're comfortable where you're seated. Do you need to adjust your cushion, your posture? Do you need to move your feet a bit more squarely onto the ground, just to center yourself that little bit more? Do whatever you can, even if it just makes yourself just that little tiny bit more comfortable. It all just helps you as we settle here at the start. And with your breath again, noticing and watching that rhythm of your breath, noticing and watching, visualizing, seeing the breath as it comes into you, into your body, and as it goes out again, as it comes in through your nostrils, and as it goes out again through your nose and your mouth. And noticing as well those spaces between the in-breath and the out-breath. Notice when you inhale, that little moment where the breath is held within you, where you're full of breath. When you exhale, that little moment of stillness before the next breath, before the next inhale. And this is, the start of the evening as we're just really trying to focus and center ourselves, so our minds might be wandering. but bringing your focus back to that breath, back to the sensations of the breath coming in, that cooling sensation with the inhale, that cooling around the nostrils, that feeling of the breath as it fills us, and that feeling of release, that feeling of relaxation as we exhale, and that little moment of stillness then before the next breath. And just noticing the gentle rise and fall of your chest and your shoulders as you breathe. Noticing how you just relax a little bit more into the seat as you exhale. And I want you to, in your mind's eye, visualize your roots going into the earth, the roots of your tree body. Your body being the trunk and those roots going down into the earth, pushing through the layers of the wet earth and the wet soil, the sand and the stones and the rock. Those roots twisting and pushing deeper down, gripping tightly to the earth beneath us. Touching the underwater springs and being nourished and replenished by those. And all of these with those mycelial connections between one another, like in this circle of trees that we are, it's connecting us here as a circle. And with those roots going down into the earth, I want you to feel that earth energy rising up through you as you inhale. Breathe that earth energy, that grounding energy up through those roots, up through your tree body. See it as a colour maybe, see it as that red earth energy, and out through your branches, reaching high up to the heavens. Pushing out through those branches, going upward, up to the sky above. Drawing in from those roots, pushing up through your trunk and out through your branches. And when you're ready to bring it through the other way, breathe in through those branches, breathing in down from the sky above. Breathing down from the sun and from the moon, from the stars, and bringing that energy down through your body, and breathing that all the way through, out through your roots at the bottom. Building that connection, that grounded connection to the earth and that connection to the sky above. And with that connection, with that centeredness, let's all now, I'm going to light the smudge herbs here. And if you have smudge herbs, ceremonial herbs at home, do join in and light those there as well. Oh, going to be talking about the fire later on. The fire's doing very strongly here. Just going to have to move that over. Remind me to mention about the children's fire before the end of the evening. And as we work with the plant spirits, as we work with the smudge herbs, fantastic, I can see those on Zoom already. We call on their cleansing energies, we call on their healing energies that help us release and let go of those stresses of the day, all of those things playing on our minds, all of those things weighing on our shoulders. Those things that are heavy on our chest and causing butterflies in the belly. All the way down to our feet if we can. We thank the plant spirits for that energy of cleansing, that energy of healing, for those blessings that can help us be focused and centered and present here in this space. And so for all the people in the circle and all those people who are joining in the video afterwards, I kind of leave the prayers smouldering and sending that incense, that smoke upwards to carry those prayers for clearing and cleansing. And there's a little bit going here as well from the cauldron, just off this side. And that seems to have mixed in with all of the remnants of incense that's in that cauldron there. So many other prayers interweaving with that this evening. Alright, and so here as we begin, from this place now being more grounded, centered, present, let us honour and acknowledge the earth beneath us, and send our prayers and respect in welcoming the earth beneath us, that earth that holds us and heals us and guides us on our journey through life. Let us honour the waters that flow through us, and those waters that flow through the earth, whether it's through the underwater streams or the underwater springs, or through the rivers and streams, and all of those that flow out to the sea. And let us call to the element of air and to the spirits of the wind, whether it's the gentle breeze or those wild winds of change that blow through to clear away the old. Or our own breath. Let us call to the spirit of fire, fire who's been very present in this space this evening, whether it be that candle that flickers there behind me, whether that be the flames that have arisen there from the smudge bowl, to the fire of the sun that burns strongly in these days, or to all of those fires within us, those fires of cleansing, those fires of excitement, of passion, of creativity, of inspiration. To the children's fire, where many all up and around this country are lighting the children's fire, made with the simple prayer that the decisions that will be made in this week and beyond will be made with the future generations in mind. That fire, that spark that holds those prayers for future generations. And here in this space, let us call to all of our unseen guides and spirit allies, all of those that work with us and work through us, And let's call to our ancestors. Let's call to those of our bloodline. Let's call to those ancestors of this land. And let's call to those ancestors of our spiritual heritage. And so for this circle here, for all those that are joining in, let us all call to the spirits of the north, of the east, of the south and the west, and ask this circle to be blessed. And to the earth below and sky above, fill the circle with purest love. Blessed be. Okay, fantastic. To extend our calling in, let's begin with the first round of drumming here. So those who have got their drums, pick up their drums, and those who are drumming with that heartbeat in their chest, joining in with that open heart. This first round of drumming is to continue that calling in to the spirits of all the directions, and to our guides and spirit allies that work with us, calling them close to us, ready for when we do the journey this evening. So I will begin a drum beat. Join in with whatever feels right. A welcome to all those unseen that join us. Fantastic. So let us know that you're back from that round of drumming. Send up a bubble with a thumb or whatever on it. Let us know in the comments when you're back. I seem to have lost the Zoom. So I'm just going to try and find that again. There we go. Can you see me there on Zoom? Brilliant. Talking about disappearing into and between the worlds. Disappeared somewhere else then. I think it went to minimise view and I only had Rosa's screen just in the bottom corner on there somewhere. Not quite sure why it does that. Never mind. I can see most of you, or all of you, are back on Zoom, all those who got the video showing. Let us know on Facebook if you're back. Let us know how you're feeling after that first round of drumming. What was the main feeling that came from that first round of drumming? Just to connect back in to the group here, into the circle. Fantastic. So others would describe it as beautiful, others as grounded, others feeling quite trance-like. Perfect for getting us in the mood for journeying. Those who just we last week finished the Spirit of the Drum course, and one of the things we were looking at was the different drum beats, and particularly those ones that kind of get a bit more trancey. So those of you who and there's a few people who are on Facebook on the Zoom, you might have noticed the kind of what was going on with the rhythm there a little bit. As I kind of said, it just sort of happens after a while that it moves from something a bit more one thing onto a bit more trancey, as it were. But super. Others feeling, getting a sense of perspective. I think that's, well, I guess that's meant by the word perspective there. Others calm, others connected. But it really helps us arrive, and for when we go to do the journeying now, we're already starting from that kind of deeper point, or from a deeper point in us. So we've been holding these journeying evenings since the start of the year, where we have the 2 drumming circles. The earlier one in the month has been a journeying circle, and we've been using that time to connect in with different things. Usually, as I say, I like to connect in with the spirit of the season. I think it's one of the things that's really important to us, and again, there's some people here who have done the spiritual rewilding course. It's one of the things I talk about on there, of getting back into a living connection with the natural cycles around us. And so I focus a lot on these evenings, and did as well when we were meeting in person as a group over here in Kent in UK, on what is going on in the land, what's changing in the seasons, what energies are rising, what energies are kind of dipping down, what's kind of moving out, what's moving in, what's growing, what's tweeting, what's scurrying, what's going on with the temperature, and all of those things, that kind of how that what's going on out and around us reflects what's going on as well on an inner, within our inner space. You know, whether we naturally, or whether we kind of consciously know it or not. You know, as the land around us changes with the seasons, there are changes that go on massively within us in the seasons as well. And those changes, those ebbs and flows with that throughout the year. And so checking in with that and tuning in with that throughout the year is, as those cycles change, is well, it's a way of kind of living more in connection with the natural cycles, rather than what the calendar says is going on, or what kind of, what festivals or events say is going on, and actually tune in with something, with that kind of natural part, or that wild part of ourselves that connects with the natural cycles. So our focus on the journey this evening is going to be connecting in with what strength or message or strength or guidance we are needing now as we move into this season where we're at, as we're coming towards the midsummer, the summer solstice in the next couple of weeks, and as well as we move past what we've got this week with the new moon on Thursday, and the eclipse that comes in with that, and all that represents of ends and new beginnings, and clear away of the old and moving forward with the new, and how that can add energy to the paths that we're on, the new projects that we're undertaking, the new steps that we're taking in our lives, and giving them some focus and some energy. So as we move through the next couple of weeks, the question today is, what strength or guidance do we need? And we're going to connect with a guide for that. What I'm going to do as regards the drumming, you will not need to do drumming there, so you can, when we do get started, you can make yourself comfortable. What I would be doing during the drumming, after a bit of talking at the start, just to kind of give a bit of guidance and direction at the start. I won't give any direction or won't give any suggestion or any comments of what comes afterwards, and I will begin drumming journeying rhythm. And I will keep that going for about 10 to 15 minutes. And when it's time to come to an end, or when it's time when I'm bringing it to an end, I'll let you know, because the drum beat will change. It will start going. And then it will go really fast. Faster than that. And what I will at the start do is just talk us through, with a bit of focus on the breathing again and a bit of visualization, into the start and lead us to a tree. And people would have seen this before on journeying circles that we've done, that the tree is the doorway, as it were, into the journey, and we either journey up or down the tree at the start. And today we're going to journey downwards on the tree. And I'm going to talk you over to the tree at the start. We'll go downwards as the drumming begins, and you will hold that intention in your mind that you're going to connect with a particular strength or guidance that you're needing at the moment. And that may appear in whatever form, and it's a chance for you to have whatever conversation that you need to have to understand that message in that space. But it may appear in whatever form. And as we've talked about kind of before as well, that may be visually, that may be kind of something you notice with other senses as well. And you have that time in that sort of that 10 or so minutes that I'll be drumming the journeying rhythm to really get a sense of what that gift or what that message is for you at the moment, for what strength or guidance you're needing for the coming weeks. And when it's time to bring you back and I beat those 4 beats of 4, that's then time for you to say your thank yous for anything you've experienced in that space, and gather up anything that you've been given. And as the drum beat picks up faster and faster and faster and faster, you come out of that landscape, back up the tree root, back up the tree, and back to where you started. And then we have a bit of time then to, all of us, where we just take a little moment to really bring ourselves back. So that's the journey for this evening. We're going to be journeying downwards down the tree and arrive in a landscape where we go to meet whatever strength or guidance we need, and that will appear in whatever form it needs to at the moment to help get the message across. And the time in the journey is there to ask questions or to understand what the strength is, or what the message is, what the guidance is. So I will invite you all to make yourself comfortable for this journey. Not so comfortable that you snooze off, just comfortable that you're not going to be distracted by the arm of the chair digging into your back, or the kind of the pain in your legs because you're kneeling to be kind of close enough to the screen. Get somewhere where you can relax. Some people like to lay down for journeys, some people like to sit for journeys. You may want to close curtains so it's a bit darker in the room where you are. Sometimes too much light on the back of the eyes can be a bit distracting. Some people, if they can't do curtains, might just pop a scarf or a piece of fabric over their eyes. Just going to pull my window up so it's not so noisy out there. I'm going to invite Heidi in so that she doesn't do any barking during this session. Heidi, darling. There you are. You come on in. Well done. Brilliant. And as you know, when we do a bit of drumming, the temperature goes up, so hopefully it doesn't get too warm in here with the door closed and the window closed. Will you come and lay down? Down you come. Alright, so I think that's given you a bit of time just to make yourself comfortable. And while you're there, just closing your eyes, and let's once again just bring our attention to our breath. And once again, it all just helps us center in ground, just to notice and give that attention to that breath coming in. That breath going out. That breath coming in. And that breath going out. And with each out breath, we just settle that little bit more into the chair where we're seated. Or wherever we're laying. And I want you in your mind's eye to see yourself standing in either a field, or you may be on a woodland path, but see those feet there. Look down at those feet on the earth. See the earth around you in its colours and its tones. And as you look around, see the space around you. Whether that be in a meadow, seeing the grass moving in the breeze as the breeze touches you on your cheek, or in the woodland, hearing the wind move in the branches either side of you. And I'm just going to need to this time invite you just to hold that vision in your mind and stay with your breath just for a few minutes. And what I invite people to do generally in this space is just pay attention to all of your senses. Looking around and seeing what colours and shapes you can make out in this meadow or on this forest path. Listen to the sounds that you can hear. How does the air smell? What fragrances can you pick up from the air, from the breeze? Just to really heighten and focus and tune in on those senses. And starting to move forward now, taking steps forward and walking forward. See in front of you a tree. It may be a tree that you know, or it may be a tree that you're meeting for the first time. But see that tree standing there. See its trunk, its branches, and just as high as those branches go upwards, know that those roots go downwards. And holding that intention in your mind and in your heart for this journey to connect with whatever strength and guidance you need for this next month, for these next few weeks. As the drumming begins, journey down in through the tree, down through the earth, to arrive in whatever landscape you arrive in. To connect with that strength or message that you need now. And I wish you a happy journey. if you haven't already, just really make sure that you make that return journey back up the tree roots and back up the tree, back up to where you started next to the tree there. Seeing yourself or feeling yourself making your way back with that return. And bringing yourself back to your breath, bringing yourself back with your breath. Breathing a little bit deeper and exhaling. Just letting the breath bring you back from that journey. Bringing you all the way back to this space. Moving your body a little bit, moving your fingertips and your toes, maybe stretching or moving your back in wherever you're seated. Giving your body a bit of a stretch and a bit of a move just to help bring yourself back. Looking around the room for something to focus on, to really bring your focus and your attention out from those inner worlds and back into the space around you. And I can see many and most people on the Zoom. If you're still making your way back, just let your breath help you. Breathe in deeply. Breathe into your fingertips and your toes. Give them a wiggle. Move your body a bit. Those on the Facebook Live, if you're back, let us know with a thumb or with a heart bubble, whichever one of those you want to send up, or let us know in the comments section. Let us know that you're back there. Super. It's a good moment just to bring your attention back to the space. If you've got a drink next to you, perhaps having a drink, or if you've got a bit of paper to write down any of your experience, might be a good chance just to jot down some of your journey. What was the strength that has come to you? What was the message that has come to you? And any other information about the journey that you're wanting to note. Excellent. Excellent. And one of the things that we often, after a round of drumming or whatever, we go into the comments section and say what our experience of it was. With journeys, I don't tend to ask that because I feel journeys are very personal. They may be things that we want to sit and process afterwards. Some of the message comes through symbolism and things like that, and sometimes we need to sit and process and get to understand what that means. So I don't ask people to share in the comments section what their experience was. Obviously, you're more than welcome to share anything that you're wanting to, but I don't ask you to. Let them kind of stay personal. But it's great to read these comments on here of people about what their experience was. So some people are saying powerful, other people saying it's confirming, others it's what they were needing right now. So fantastic as well to see that you're back from your journeys. But this might be easier on Facebook than it is on Zoom, but I was thinking in the chat section, lost the connection before the end. As long as you made it back, Fiona. In the comment section, what emoji would you use to describe your journey, or the message you got from your journey, or the strength that you got from the journey? I thought that might be a good challenge, which doesn't kind of mean sharing anything personal from it, but if I'm not sure if you can get the emojis on the on Zoom, so maybe unless you're doing it on your phone, I'm not quite sure what way you might be able to do that there. But for Facebook, what emoji would you use that kind of represents the journey experience that you had, or the message or strength that you met in the journey? I've seen a couple of people pop in some comments on there, so it's really fantastic to hear that you connected with something such as that in your journeys. Oh, that's an excellent one. That's bigger than a normal emoji. Be the change, with leaves growing in a light bulb. Fantastic. Super. Yeah, we can't do emojis on Zoom, sorry. I did wonder whether or not there was a thing on the side for emojis. But a good journey, someone says there. If there's particulars of your individual journey, what I always say is, feel free to message me about them, and I'm happy to kind of talk to you about your journey experience. If there's anything that kind of you're not sure of, or you're wanting to understand. So I've got a couple of kind of messages there, and yeah, it's something kind of individually I can kind of have a chat with you after the session. What might be easier if you're on the Facebook page is dropping a message to the Facebook page, otherwise by email, and I can happily speak to you about that afterwards. Turtle burrowing beneath the tide and laying an egg. So there's hearts and the 100. Does that mean kind of certainly, 100% certainly? Absolutely, definitely. 100%, whatever. Super. Others with a heart being held in the hands. Now I've asked you for emojis, now I've got to squint to see what they are. Lovely. Shells and mermaids and doves. Birds. Maybe let's keep it looser as birds, just in case that was the closest emoji you could get for it. Excellent. Any others from Zoom with a one-word kind of something that represents your journey experience, or what you connected in with during that? There's one here, it says bugs. There's definitely a bugs emoji. I'm sure you can get kind of a few different variations of bugs to go in the emoji, but to go in emoji form, but that's clear enough there. Bugs. Others. What's that? Halo and stars. Fantastic. Super. Oh, what? I'll read out a couple more if they arrive in the next couple of minutes, but to dart away, that little impromptu hold that visualization and keep breathing for a little while was because I had a message pop up on the screen saying the battery was running out. I've been crafting over the last couple of days, which is in another room, so I'd taken the cable with me and hadn't realised I hadn't plugged it back in. So just at the start of that journey, it was coming up saying battery about to run out, kind of switching off in just a moment. So it's just like, okay, hold that vision just there, run across to the other room. So I hope that wasn't too disrupting for people. You were off in woodland paths and meadows, so it was fine. But it does mean Heidi got back out of the room, but thankfully she didn't join in with the barking on the street. Might be a bit too warm for her to join in with that. But sorry if that did disturb or confuse anyone at the start there. Oh, we have got an emoji on Zoom. Sorry, those who are seeing my forehead on the Zoom screen, on the Facebook screen. Of a cat, I guess that is. We've got a caterpillar. Ah, Mike, you found a bug emoji. Super. Yeah, I was sure there was plenty on there. Excellent. So yeah, as mentioned, I've been crafting the last few days. Feeling somewhat better lately, and so have been kind of getting back on with. There's a number of bespoke drum orders that I've been working on and getting things prepared for, and there's a number of other drums that I'll be posting pictures up soon, so you'll be able to see those to come up and out soon. And that's what I've been busying myself doing a little bit in the background now that I've been feeling like I've been able to. And yeah, so I look forward to kind of sharing the pictures with those. Probably in the next few days they'll be dry. They're drying a lot quicker this time of year. Anyone who's made drums with me will know that one of the things that I do say all the time with it is, you let them dry slowly, and encourage them to dry as slowly as possible, because if they dry too quickly, that's when you can get some mishaps. So in this heat as it is at the moment, this is trying to keep them here in the coolest room in the house, so they dry nice and slowly, and they seem to be doing really, really beautifully. No teasers this evening. I'll pop pictures up in a few days' time with those. The other news, I guess, to say is to do with the next drumming circle. I haven't got something confirmed with it, but it's on the 22nd of June is the date of it. Either way, what is most likely is that it will only be on Facebook rather than on Zoom as well. Reason being is because it's going to be somewhere away. As a lot of people know, one of the things that we've been focusing on quite a lot in the last several months has been the kind of campaign for protecting Stonehenge and the sacred landscape of Stonehenge, which is currently in line for a massive road and tunnel development, which will destroy a lot of the ecosystem, which in itself is quite fragile, but also a lot of the heritage site and a lot of our heritage and the resting places of ancestors of this land, of these sacred places. So we've been part of the campaign from the sacred activism side, working with that. It does mean that around the busy time of the solstice, I will likely be over in the area of Stonehenge, and so the drumming circle will be coming from nearby to Stonehenge on the 22nd, most likely. There is the High Court hearing, which is taking place this month on the 23rd to the 25th of June, where the Stonehenge... no, it's not Stonehenge. Stonehenge Alliance is kind of been involved with it, obviously, but it's Save Our Stonehenge. I think it's is the legal campaign. They are taking it to the High Court for them to look at that ruling again, look at that decision again, and that hearing may be taking place in London. So I will either be there close to the stones doing the live session for the drumming, or I will be elsewhere, depending on what plans change nearer the time. When the newsletter goes out in the days leading up to that, it will confirm what's what, and it will be on the Facebook Live bit anyway, but it may be a little bit of a surprise on the day where exactly I am joining in for it. But we will be having our summer solstice on the 22nd, our summer solstice drumming circle then. And I think that is all. Then I noticed when I was looking at the event page on Facebook for these drumming circles and the journeying circles, was that I only did them up to the summer solstice. I will create a new event page for them going forward. There will likely be a break. It might be that in July there is only the one at the end of the month, but I'll confirm with that. I might be having a break in the earlier part of the month, but the updates on those will go out on the newsletter. I think that's all of the updates for what's going on this side of things, and for when we'll be next joining together in these circles. As before we bring this particular evening to a close and this circle to a close, let's close again with a round of drumming, and with that we're giving thanks to those unseen that have connected in with us this evening, and giving thanks for whatever strength and guidance that we have connected with in the journey. Giving thanks to it so that it remains with us in the coming days and weeks and months. So do grab your drum and our closing round of drumming for gratitude. So give him thanks to the voice and the spirit of the drum that holds us each time as we gather here in this space. It holds us in the drumming circle as we send out our prayers and our gratitude and our thanks and our honouring and our respect, and holds us on those journeys within as we go and connect with these strength and guidance that will help us and hold us and carry us in the coming days and weeks and months. So may we be carried by that strength, may we be carried by that message and that guidance into the coming days of the eclipse, of the new moon, and as we move forward to the summer solstice. Let's honour and thank all of those guides and spirit allies that work with us and work through us, those ancestors that stand with us, and all of those unseen that weave their magic in and throughout everything that we share and experience in these spaces. And with heartfelt thanks and gratitude, it's also thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessed be. And yes, thank you to all of you who have joined on with this evening. Really lovely to see you, and hope to see many of you, even if it's for those who are on Zoom, to see you joining on the Facebook, joining wherever we'll be for that one there. If you're on the Facebook live stream, in the blurb above, you'll see that there's the link on there. If you're not already joined onto the mailing list, sign up to that, because that will give you the updates to do with the next drumming circle. So the link is there for joining that. If you're wanting to explore shamanic journeying more, if you're wanting to work with and develop that a bit more into a practice for yourself, a regular practice for healing and guidance, there is the link on there to the kind of the longer journeying course, which is something where I go through a number of different lessons. It's all recorded videos, so you can do it in your own time, but recorded lessons and recorded journeys, talking you through how to deepen that as a personal practice. The link for that is on the Facebook blurb there as well. And one thing that you can do to help is, if you feel like you want to, is share that link around with places so that other people may be able to find it, and others who may want to be exploring journeying as a practice can find that one there as well. But yeah, thank you all for your messages there. It's really, really lovely to join on here again with you all. Thank you all so much. And yes, see you next time. Do get in contact either by email or by Facebook if you wanted to have a chat about your journeys. But yes, all the best in the coming days. I will be posting something about the children's fire. I'll pop it in the comments here as well, so people can see how they can get involved with that prayer focus this week. Children's fire, in holding those prayers for the future generations. And obviously there's lots of decisions being made down, those people in Cornwall kind of may attest to it being very busy down that part of the country, with lots of decisions being made by the G7 this week. So that prayer focus with the children's fire is centered around that, so that decisions that are made be made with the future generations in mind. So yeah, I hope in whatever way, whether it be with a candle or whether it be with a fire, you'll be able to join in sometime over this weekend with those prayers. But I'll pop the details for that in the comment section of the Facebook live video. If anybody on Zoom on Facebook and wanted more information about that, let me know and I can ping it over to you as well. But yeah, all the best everyone, and I will see you next around the solstice, possibly at Stonehenge or possibly in another mystery location. We shall see. But take care everyone.